Hello and welcome to Introduction to History. My name is Jonathan Parker. I will be your instructor for the course. I am making this video. I know this is an in-person course, so you'll get this lecture in class, because inevitably there are at least 2 or 3 late sign-ups to every in-person course that I teach, and 1,000,001 questions about the syllabus and expectations for the class. So it's just easier for me to do this now and refer latecomers to the video that will be posted on Canvas than to, be dealing with the syllabus into mid-February, which has sometimes happened. So anyway, my name's Jonathan Parker. You're an Introduction to History. We'll meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 1:15. My email right here, jonathan.parker@icc.edu. Make sure you spell Jonathan right. I don't know why it happens, but I guess the normal way of spelling Jonathan has changed since I was born back in the 1800s. But people get mad at me because they send an email, say, to JOHNOTHON, and wonder why I don't reply. I never got the email. So just make sure, the name is correct on e-services, the name's correct right in the syllabus, the name's correct all over the place. You should not have trouble finding a correct spelling of my name somewhere. All right, my office is 216C. I share it with other faculty members. The number vary upon the semester and the year, so I don't know who I'm sharing with. I haven't been back to campus yet. And if you need help, please stop by. I am here to serve. I'll stay for a half hour after class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, longer if I need to, but I'm there from 1:15 to 1:45. If you need me. All right. Other office hours by appointment only. I am not averse to holding office hours. I do have a life outside the classroom. I do have other projects, other things that I am pursuing and need to pursue. So if we can, get together on a time that works for both our schedules outside of Illinois Central College, I'm absolutely ecstatic to hop on a Zoom call, Skype, FaceTime you, whatever. I am here to help you succeed. I want you to succeed. So just ask. If you never ask the question, if you never say, Mr. Parker, I need help, but I can't make your office hours. If you never ask the question, the answer is always going to be no. And you're never going to get what you want. So just, if it might be uncomfortable, but always make an effort to ask the question, because if you don't ask it, as I just said, you're never going to get help. You're never going to get clarity. You're never going to get whatever it is you might be needing. I'm available by email. Otherwise, I will do my best to get back to you within a business day of your inquiry. So weekends aren't business days. So like an email that you send me on Monday, I will do my best to answer on Tuesday at the latest. An email sent on Friday, on the other hand, will be answered by the following Monday at the latest. All right. And just a couple notes on my schedule. I am a part-time graduate student. I'm working on wrapping up a history degree. I have the qualifications necessary to teach this course before anybody asks, or that thought pops into anybody's head, but I wanted to finish the full master's. So that's what I'm trying to do. I am also a husband and a father, and I teach also at Heartland. So my schedule is packed. So it's if I take 25 hours instead of 24 to respond to an email, please don't bite my head off the next class period you see me. All right, I will let you read the course description, the general information, the course level outcomes. I don't need to talk to you about those. All right, 3 textbooks, Christopher Lechel's A Short History of the World. You'll be reading extensively from this, so get this book. Paul S. Boyer, American History, A Very Short Introduction. You'll be reading from this too, so get that book. Melvin E. Page and Brian J. Maxon, A Short Guide to Writing About History, 10th edition. It's good for reference. I haven't made up my mind about it, to be perfectly honest. It is, if you have the money to buy it, do so. If you don't, hold off, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this yet. All right. So these two, definitely yes. The last one, Melvin Page and Brian Maxon, hold off. Course policies, as I said, email is the quickest and most effective way to get in touch with me. The email at the top of page 1, send it there. I do everything in my power to respond to all emails within 24 hours, but I just laid out my schedule. Sometimes it just isn't going to happen. All right. And as an additional note, I mean, I hate to be a stickler about this, but you should be referring to me in class and via email, Mr. Parker. All right. It's a matter of respect to my mind. All right. The last few semesters, I've gotten a lot of emails starting with Jonathan. I've gotten, hey pal, I don't know what high school taught this, but dear Jonathan.Parker@icc.edu, use of my first name is disrespectful. Don't refer to me by my first name, Mr. Parker. I don't have my doctorate, so doctor isn't appropriate. I choose not to use professor, just Mr., plain old Mr. All right. Since this is an entirely in-person course, everything is going to be turned in hard copy. I will not accept any electronic forms of submission for classwork. Everything you hand in must be a hard copy that you print out and bring to class. For strictly in-person courses, I can remember maybe twice I've made an exception to this. So find a printer. I mean, it might take a little bit to plan ahead, but find a printer. Find some way of printing out the page. It's even good for your records. It actually helps you too, because it's happened, I think, 2, maybe 3 times now. Canvas has just erased grades. So when trying to reconstruct something, you know, rather than you coming up to me and, you know, saying, well, Mr. Parker, this is showing as a 0 still, but I did this assignment, that assignment, and the other assignment. Instead of me looking at you and I say, okay, well, what evidence do you have of that? You can show me the 3 assignments with the grades that I assigned to them. So it benefits you as well. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but it's how I do things, and I just need hard copies of stuff from you. All right, academic citation etiquette. Whenever you turn in a written assignment, please use inline citations. Please use a bibliography. At the end of your written assignments, you are required to provide a list of sources that you have utilized for the assignment. We will use MLA9 format for bibliographies and inline citations for this class. I say MLA9. If you are just the world's biggest fan of Chicago or the world's biggest fan of APA, and using MLA9 is going to just throw you off and ruin your semester, I really don't care if you use APA or Chicago. All right. I just have to pick a format, and this is the one I went with because this is the one that gets the least number of people complaining when I've taught this course. So there's that. So use the template, easybib.com. It also does, you know, it'll format things in Chicago style or APA as well. I know there are like 1,000,001 citation generators. That's just the one that I've used and had luck using. So inline citations are also expected in any writing assignments that you turn in where you have used outside sources. Outside sources are defined as absolutely anything you use that are not in the two definite class textbooks. All right. So general guideline, I've never ever docked anybody for oversighting something. I've just taken my red pen, written just in the future, please know you didn't have to cite this, that, or the other thing. And that's been it. No points have ever been deducted for oversighting. I'm thrilled to death when somebody oversights, because that means they care, they take plagiarism very seriously and want to avoid it. So when in doubt, just cite it. You're never going to be punished for that. All right, Wikipedia is not an academic resource. Do not cite Wikipedia in any work that you do this semester. It will negatively impact your grade, probably to the tune of half a letter grade. But it depends on how severe the Wikipedia use is, because Wikipedia articles sometimes make very grandiose, not at all true sort of claims. Anybody can get on there and write anything. Just to head this one off as well, students will sometimes ask me about the links at the bottom of the pages that take you to outside sites. It's referenced in the article. I just would say use your common sense. All right, some of those places could and are good places to start. Keyword start your research. Those should not be the end all, be all, But yes, those can be okay to start. But if Wikipedia appears in any of your bibliographies that you turn in for me this semester, I mean, I can guarantee a half a letter grade right off the bat in deductions. So academic misconduct, plagiarism. You have a student rights and responsibilities handbook. It says this: based on the severity of the offense, the instructor may recommend failure for an assignment or failure for the course. Multiple instances of academic misconduct could include sanctions up to dismissal from the college. Nobody believes that I'm ever going to actually do it. The first time I catch you plagiarizing, I will give you a 0 for whatever assignment you have plagiarized without the opportunity to redo it. This includes the major writing assignments, of which there are a few in this class. And it's only taken me failing one person for the class to learn the lesson. The second time I catch you plagiarizing, I will fail you for the course. That's a promise. Don't test me on it. No exceptions to this will be made. All right, strike one, you get a 0. If you choose to plagiarize again, you fail for the course. AI is cheating. I believe that artificial intelligence is cheating. All right. Other types of plagiarism include copying or obtaining information from another student, contracting for original work with a third party, and generating or revising assignments with the aid of artificial intelligence tools that were not expressly authorized by the instructor. And I am never going to authorize the use of artificial intelligence. Never, ever, ever. I'm going to pass something out during the semester to show you how blatantly obvious it is to your teachers when you use artificial intelligence. That will be the only time I'm ever presenting you with anything that's ever artificially generated. So again, just to spell this out, the use of AI is strictly prohibited under all circumstances in this course. I am never going to okay the use of artificial intelligence. Never, ever, ever. Late submissions. I don't accept late work. If you think something's going to be late, talk to me beforehand, please, and we can work out. I'm a lot less scary than the syllabus version of me is sounding right now. Talk to me beforehand. I'm happy to work out an extension, but before the assignment is due, okay? But also I know circumstances occur that, would prevent you from turning something in on time. If you wake up the morning of an assignment, with 103-degree fever, go to the hospital and send me an email when you're well saying this happened, and here's my doctor's note. And I wish I didn't have to ask for a doctor's note, but I've been lied to an awful lot. So I have to ask for proof of what you said happened actually happened. So if you come to me with an excuse like I went to a Taylor Swift concert last night, I've had that, or I had other homework to do. I was at a bachelorette party in Cancun. That was a student who disappeared for 3 weeks over one of my summer courses. You will not be turning in anything. And again, a statement on the use of artificial intelligence. In this course, you must create your own original work, writing, rendering, to be submitted for a grade. The use of artificial intelligence, including but not limited to language engines, text spinners, image creators, chatbots, etc., is prohibited at any stage of an assignment. Coursework that is found to be AI generated in whole or in part, and AI, unfortunately, is getting better, but it is still painfully, mind-numbingly obvious to your teachers when you are using artificial intelligence. It is subject to the following consequences, as I laid out: failure of assignment and written account submitted to the appropriate college administrator with a first offense, and failure in course and written account submitted to the appropriate college administrator for a second offense. My dean teaches English classes here semi-regularly. She hates artificial intelligence. She will not look kindly on anybody who is coming to her with an academic citation for AI use. So I know that I have her backing on this. So grading scale, standard 10 points. Methods of presentation, nothing extraordinary, what you would expect in a standard class. Now here's what you care about, the grade. You will be doing a research paper. We will be breaking it down into steps so that it's easier and more manageable. We'll talk about that as the semester progresses. Those we're not going to start presenting until April, so you've got some time. Oral presentation. The oral presentation will be on the research paper. So that's 40% of your grade right there. You will have a first test, which will probably be around midterm time. That'll be 20% of your grade. A final, 20% of your grade. Then I just call this the everything else category. That isn't any of those things. The 2 tests, the oral presentation or the research paper. That's the final 1/5 of your grade. And just to clear this up, because I always get questions about this, it doesn't matter if test 1 is 1 question worth 1 point, or 100 questions worth half a point, or 500 questions worth 5 points each. It's still 20% of your grade. So the point value doesn't matter. I mean, I can see what style of questions will you be asking, Mr. Parker? Multiple choice, true, false essay. I can see where that would be a concern, but the point value doesn't matter. It's still going in the same 20% of your grade. I've stopped doing rolling grades, meaning it's just a straight, you got 10 out of 10 here, 9 out of 10 here. Okay, so you got 19 out of 20 for the semester. I stopped doing that a couple of years ago. Weighted grades, I found have worked better. So it's a weighted grade. Whatever you get, you get. Exams, if you need to miss an exam, let me know as soon as possible, preferably before the exam. Otherwise, you must contact me immediately afterward by phone or email. There's a department phone, and they're pretty good about getting the messages to me. That's on the website, the school website. Just Google Humanities Department, and the phone will come up. Or email. That's better. That's the best way. Within 24 hours, if you fail to do so, you will not be eligible for a make-up exam. It is not acceptable to wait until the next class meeting, because that is when we will probably be reviewing the exam results. And when there are tests, I tend to drop everything else and just grade those so I get them back to you guys real quick. So the likelihood that we are reviewing the exam the next class period is nearly 100%. There have been a couple times when they've been heavy essay tests that it's been 2 or 3 class periods, but in all probability, it will be the next class that we're reviewing the test. Writing standards, scores will depend primarily on the accuracy of information, organization, and intellectual quality of your analysis, but style is also important. Check grammar and spelling as carefully as possible and maintain a reasonably formal tone. Careless, overly familiar writing in the style of text messaging with friends or family is inappropriate in an academic or professional context. I do dock people for that because I get a lot of text lingo, especially in the last couple of years. Evaluation of student achievement. You'll have at least one essay. This doesn't apply at all. This is just something that you put on the syllabus. So ignore letter J. K, college services. I'll let you go through this in detail on your own, but I'll just give you a few of the highlights. If you are in need of a reasonable accommodation, for me, you can really just talk to me. You don't have to have a documented disability statement, at least for me. If you want to, I mean, just some teachers require them. Go ahead and present me with it. It's fine. But if you need a reasonable accommodation, I'm happy to make it happen if I can. But there's the number for access services in the email. So seek help if you need it. We also have a tutoring lab. The tutoring lab is wonderful for essays. They've worked wonders in the past, and I'm sure they will do so again. Counseling, we provide counseling. It's very brief, solution-focused. You're encouraged to go to an outside therapist eventually if you need more in-depth counseling services, but we have counseling. The technology help desk. I am no help at all with technology. So if there is some problem with tech that you run into in this class and you ask me, Mr. Parker more than likely doesn't know. So the tech help desk is the place to go. They're the people to ask. Please ask them. It's not that I don't want to help. It's just I can't. I don't. I'm an old man. Career services, course withdrawal. It is your responsibility to drop or withdraw from a course. All right? And please do that. I mean, don't just stop showing up. It's not particularly fair to me. It's not particularly fair to your classmates because things do get planned assuming that you're going to be a member of the class for the duration of the semester. So if you need to leave, just drop the class. Don't leave us all hanging for 8 weeks waiting for you to return. And the withdrawal date is on the bottom here. So last date for a late withdrawal with instructor and dean approval is May 6th. I have never not given my approval. Add drop date. So February 4th is the last date you can get a refund if you need to drop. And we'll go back to where we were. Yeah, this is very important. All right. So read this, please, in detail. Title IX, Cultivating a Community of Care. Commit to integrity. As a student in this course and at this college, you are expected to maintain high degrees of professionalism, commitment to active learning, and participation in this class, and integrity in your behavior in and out of the classroom. This means you will conduct yourself as though you are serious about your education and learning to work with others in professional environments, both online and on-site. Review the ICC Student Code of Conduct for information on your responsibilities. This hasn't been a terrible issue that I've had to deal with at this college in particular. People are, on the whole, very serious about learning and getting the most out of their classes. And I expect that you guys will be no different. Controversial issues in civility. Surprisingly, I haven't had much issue with this either, although my colleagues could tell you some horror stories. For reading and writing assignments, as well as discussion, be prepared possibly to confront historical events, concepts, and beliefs which you may find controversial, disturbing, and potentially offensive. And just to stop there, it is not my intention to be controversial, disturbing, and potentially offensive. I relay the facts. I am a history teacher. It is my responsibility to tell you about what happened, to teach you the facts, to teach you how people reacted to events, who did what, who said what, and leave you to draw conclusions. It is not my job to tell you what to think. My job as a teacher is to teach you how to think and how to look at events, but I only aim to present facts. Now, that being said, I am also a fallible human being, and not every now and then, sometimes I get facts wrong. If I do, point it out to me. I will apologize, correct myself, and we will move on. Describing, analyzing, and understanding such things does not mean we approve of them. In case of disagreement, maintain an attitude of civility and mutual respect. We all have a right to our own opinion, as well as a mutual obligation to refrain from insults or hate speech. And I come down very hard on that. Our class is not a place where I'm going to tolerate people insulting others or hate speech. That would impinge on others' rights to a safe, shared learning environment free of intimidation or harassment. Disagreements and debates are an essential part of higher education. This is true. You should learn how to disagree with others peaceably, debate each other peaceably, and expand your mind. Be open to new ideas. That's the whole point. But the key is to challenge ideas intellectually rather than attacking people personally. So, person X, I believe you were wrong because I know that Winston Churchill did this, that, and the other thing in 1940. Not person X, you are a lousy da-da-da-da-da. That's how you do it. You combat with facts. Challenge the idea. Don't attack the person. So, attendance policy, first and foremost. I mean, you've signed up for this class. You presumably know when it's going to start, when it's going to end, when spring break is, drop dates, all that. You're responsible adults. If you miss 2 weeks of class, 4 meetings in total, either consecutively or not, without talking to or emailing me beforehand, you will be dropped from the class. I just assume you're not interested. All right. Students are expected to attend class each week. Attendance is defined as completing classwork, doing homework assignments, as well as attending lectures. There is a 100-point grade attached to you showing up to class to encourage attendance. There will be a binder in the front of the classroom with an attendance sheet. Everybody's name will be listed, and it is your responsibility to sign in at the beginning of each class. This is for reporting purposes when the college asks me to mark who the never attenders and non-attenders are. If you do not sign in for a class, you are not present. And that's just the way of it. I have 1,000,001 things going on. Am I going to remember if person X was in this class on this date when it comes to May 15th? No, I'm not going to remember. So if you don't have your name in the binder, I'm not going to remember if you were there or not. When it comes time to determine attendance, I'll look at the binder. That'll be the Bible that I use to see when the last time you came to class was, and I'll look at Canvas to see what assignments you've turned in. to make sure you're academically active. You can't miss lecture and not turn in homework and expect to stay in and succeed in the course. The college handbook states that 5% of classes missed during a semester constitute an excessive number of absences for a class and may merit being dropped. 5% of classes constitute approximately 1 week. I am choosing to be more lenient with this. All right, but 4 classes, that's the limit. To reiterate, if you miss 2 weeks of class, 4 meetings, either consecutively or not, without talking to or emailing me, you will be dropped from the class. And this is not a scary thing. This is entirely avoidable. I mean, I get life. Life happens. Mr. Parker, my parents asked me to stay home and wait for the electrician because they had to go to work today. Okay, stuff happens. You communicated with me. I mean, I'm that lenient with absences. I get it. People have had to stay home because their basements have flooded, and that's okay. Not that the basement flooded, but that is a reason not to come to class. They've shown me the receipt from the plumbers, but that's been a reason. This will be the guideline I will use when determining non and never attenders. I have had to drop students for excessive absences and would not like to have to repeat the practice. Come to class. So what constitutes academic activity? Examples of academic activity include submitting an assignment, taking an exam, attending a study group, initiating contact with me to ask questions about the course. Examples of academic activity do not include logging into our Canvas page without doing anything, talking about the class with a friend, going to counseling, whether personal or academic. All right? So something related to the class that you're actually doing. We can blow by this. You can read that by yourself. Syllabus change policy. Every attempt is made to provide an accurate overview of the course. However, circumstances and events may make it necessary for the instructor to modify the syllabus during the semester. Changes to the syllabus and/or the schedule will be made with adequate advance notice sent to students. I've not had to do that often. When I have, it's been only to remove things from the syllabus, not add pop quizzes in or anything like that. But yeah, I'll let you know. Miscellaneous, I'm not going to chase you down to make sure you're keeping up with your work. You're in college. You need to approach me. You need to approach a classmate if you have to take some time away. You need to initiate contact to find out what you might need to make up. If you choose not to do this, don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot of zeros on Canvas. If you find that you are having trouble keeping up with assignments or other aspects of the course, make sure you let me know as early as possible. As you will find, building rapport, meaning building a relationship with me or with your boss or with coworkers, fellow students, that's key to becoming an effective professional. Make sure that you are proactive in informing your instructor when difficulties arise during the semester so that they can help you find a solution. I really want to help you find a solution. So please talk to me and we will work something out if we at all can. You will need, just for research purposes, if you're not going to write your paper and do your oral presentation specifically on campus, reliable internet access and an ICC email account in order to complete this course. All ICC students have an ICC email account. You must use your ICC email address for this course. I've had students in the past use Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail. A lot of it has found its way into my spam folder. It's not something I've done on purpose. It's just what the college system has chosen to do with the mail. So ICC stuff comes through. So be safe. Use your ICC email account to communicate with college officials and your classmates this semester. So take away from the syllabus, keep an open line of communication with me, and you will be fine. You will learn something from this class, and you may even enjoy yourself. Stranger things have been known to happen. So the projected course schedule, we're doing a first semester experience It's just something that the college has some of us do every semester to introduce you to college and what you have to do. I know that some of you have done this. Some of you are doing it in other classes. We'll work it out if there are issues. The first semester experience things are the only things that I'm holding you to. The rest of this, how I like to run this class, I do just kind of a whip around the room on the first day and ask what in history interests you and you'd like to study. And that's typically what we spend the semester looking at. I don't see a reason why we couldn't do that again and shouldn't do that again. But again, this is just the master syllabus that I am copying and pasting on here. So I would very much like to study what you guys want to study this semester, if at all possible. So don't look at this and freak out. It's probably not going to be accurate in terms of what we end up doing. So important days, the 19th, college is closed. The 20th, we all come together for our first class, and we have syllabus day. The 4th, add drop date and get a refund. March 16th to March 20th is your spring break. April 18th, that's the withdraw date. May 6th, last date for a late withdrawal with instructor and dean approval. And then May 15th, the spring semester ends. So that is really it. I look forward to seeing you on the 20th. And if one of my late registrants is watching this, reach out via email with any questions that you may have. I look forward to a great semester with you all, and I'll talk to you or see you soon.